Clay, you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. And as they say in Stoic, the obstacle is the way. And so if you let these pinheads get in your way, you're in trouble. Acta non verba is the motto of the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy at Kings Point, New York. I had appointments to Naval Academy and Kings Point Merchant Marine Academy. And Merchant Marine Academy's motto was acta non verba. In other words, don't listen to what a person says. Watch what they do. Clay, my honor to be on your show. And thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you. So congratulations.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown probably 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees. And now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrive Time, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences. And amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team about marketing and how to implement, how to help you guys implement the SEO. And the coaching is just great because there's accountability, and it's just a fantastic way to grow your company. Having a relationship with Thrive Time it's just been amazing for MultiClean. Oh my goodness, it frees me up because then I don't have to take a class on search engine optimization or learn marketing or shoot video. That's not what we do. What we do is commercial janitorial service. And you guys are the experts on marketing, and you teach me and hold my hand and show me how to do it right. And therefore, now my company is much, much larger.
Folks, on today's show, we're joined by a real client. He may look like a male model. He may look like a hologram, but he's a real person. He's a longtime client. He's a man that we consider to be a friend of the Thrive Time Show and a friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Kevin. Welcome onto the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Clay, I'm doing great. Had a great Christmas holiday, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so first question, can you tell us what is your name, first and last name, and what's the name of your company, sir?
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas.
And how long have we worked with you approximately at this point, sir?
It's been about 6-7 years.
At 3 a.m. because that's when I start my grind in. And I got no time for stumbling and chit chat talk with the fake friends. I'm on my grind, yeah. I'm on my grind. You need to drive. I'm on my grind.
And we want to welcome all of His Glory Nation from east to west to north to south. Welcome to Kingdom Business Builders with America's Coach Clay Clark. Clay, we were talking before we started. Oh, come home, Jesus.
Well, I'll tell you this. This is a powerful show for somebody watching this. I want everybody to understand this idea. It's so powerful, okay? So Jonah, and correct my theology here, but Jonah, God says, Jonah, you got to go and tell these people that are not living the right way about God. You need to go tell them they're living the wrong way. You need to give them correction, maybe give them rebuke, give them instruction. And Jonah's like, no, I am not going to talk to those people. They deserve it. I'm not going. So Jonah gets on a boat, and these guys that are in the boat, they're going, this weather's getting kind of crazy since that guy hopped on the boat. Hey, man, what's wrong with you? And I'm paraphrasing, but the guy's going, I'm just evading what God's commanded me to do. No worries. Well, the waves start getting crazy and crazy and crazy. And eventually they're going, dude, we got to throw you over the side of the boat because we don't want to die. So they throw him over the boat to get the demonic spirit off the boat or whatever's happening. A whale swallows Jonah. And that was crazy. That was crazy, right? David, God tells David, pick up a stone. David's like, about the size of a tape measure? Yeah, maybe a little smaller than that. So get yourself the stone, and then you're going to shoot it. You're going to shoot this thing at the big giant. Don't worry about it. Goliath, you got it. And David's going, all right. I mean, that's kind of where the world's at right now, Dave. I mean, we're kind of in this spot where, so on this show, we try to teach you how to start and grow a successful company, and we're going to do that, but we're all kind of in that Nehemiah moment where we're supposed to be building the wall while fighting, right? So we're all going through this. We're building while fighting. So I want to give people a very powerful teaching today, and I know that people are concerned about a Manhattan-sized object hurling at us from space called 3I Atlas that may into the financial system as we know it, according to the Harvard scientist Avi Loeb. Literally, a World Economic Forum member and a Harvard scientist is saying that a Manhattan-sized object hurtling towards Earth the space object may into the financial systems and the governments of the world. And so someone's going, how am I going to grow a business if I'm worried about that? That's kind of like Jonah, kind of like David. Kind of like, okay, so we're going to focus right now for 30 minutes or so on how to grow a company. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to be filled with the joy of the Lord. How do we do that? I want you to pray without ceasing. We're going to pray without ceasing. We're going to give thanks without ceasing. But this guy right here, Dave, this guy right here, his name's Jake Gibson. Look at him go. He's a roofer. Here we go.
Since I've been working with you, I would say from maybe 2 a week to probably close to 20 a week.
Wow.
Repeat that one more time. You went from how many leads to how many leads?
2 a week to 20 a week. And that's calls in our office, real calls. Name of the company is Roof Angel. We're a commercial and residential roofing company. Currently, we're servicing Henderson, Kentucky, Owensboro, Kentucky, really the western, northern part of Kentucky, and south end of Indiana. Yeah. My first and last name is Jake Gibson, and the web address is it's www.roofangel.com.
Again, for anybody out there that might have blacked out when they heard that, I think you said you went from 2 calls per week or 2 leads a week to 20 leads a week. Maybe I got that wrong. Could you maybe share again just how much of an increase you've seen in the leads in these first 120 days?
Yeah, the increase, I mean, what would that's like 400%, maybe more. That'd be 1,000%, I guess, right? 2 to 20.
Dave, he's growing so fast, he doesn't even know how fast he's growing, and it's Angel Roof. That's the website, and this guy is the nephew. It's angelroof.com, angelroof.com. I'll pull up, I think it's maybe Angel Roofing. Let me see. It's Roof Angel. That's what it is, roofangel.com. I'll pull it up, roofangel.com. And this guy is the nephew of Pastor Brian Gibson. So his church, right? His church, a longtime client, 10-year client of mine, Pastor Brian calls me and says, hey, look, my nephew has a roofing company. And in this crazy world we live in, he wants to grow this company. Can you help him? I said, absolutely. And so, Dave, this is a Christian-owned business. He's growing a successful company. His uncle, Pastor Brian Gibson, referred him over. He's doing it, and this guy's putting in the work. And, Dave, I think sometimes we need to take a time out from the Manhattan-sized object hurtling towards Earth, from gazing at the size of the giant, from worrying about delivering the message to the heathens, a.k.a. Jonah, to worry. And we need to just tell God, say to God, God, if you want me to do it, I'll do it. And Dave, that's easier said than done. But before we get into today's teaching, I know somebody's watching the show. The world around you is freaking you out. Dave, what advice do you have for somebody out there who's the world around them is freaking out? They want to learn how to grow a company, but the world around them is really freaking them out, Dave.
Yeah, don't put off to tomorrow what you can do today. Satan's favorite day of the week is tomorrow because it may not come for you. So you need to do everything you can today.
There it is. Okay, so here we go. We're getting into 5 moves that you can use to grow a company. Move number 1. Get the emotions out of the way of the motions that you need to take. So look at the word emotion. There's an E and then there's a motion, emotion. The E, you got to get the E out of the way of the motions that you need to take. So you and I, you know about it. We'll announce it soon here, but in late June 19th and 20th, General Flynn and Eric Trump have asked me to put together a thing, whatever that thing is, and somebody can guess. And man, every venue that said they would let us do the thing, whatever the thing is, they've bailed. Insurance has been tough to get, et cetera, et cetera. But you know what I do is every day I just make my to-do list and I go, every day I'm just going to go to bed at 9, wake up at 3, and do the work. Now, could I lament on how frustrating it could be? Could I even just give power to it by even speaking about it and obsessing about the frustration? Yeah, I could. But God does not want us to get super stressed out. So let me give you a Bible verse here. This is Proverbs 15:18. It says, a hot-tempered man stirs up strife, but he who is slow to anger quiets contention.
Yep.
Let me read that to you again. A hot-tempered man stirs up strife, but he who is slow to anger quiets contention. And Dave, some of the best meaning people in my life, they've said, Clay, if that church bailed on you like that, you got to put them on blast. You got to go up on social, name names. People can't be a part of a weak church like that. And maybe there's some truth to that, but Dave, that's not going to help us get a venue by going online and bashing the churches that bail. No. You know, a very respected person in my life this morning said, I can't believe these insurance companies are denying you insurance for that thing. I can't believe. I mean, come on, America's general, the president's son, they're not going to give you insurance. Are you kidding me? If I were you, I would. Yeah. But Dave, if we spend our entire day slinging mud, eventually that hole gets pretty deep. And I just want to get your thoughts on that, Dave, because you see this all the time. You're out there just trying to share his glory. And if you and I took the time to hurl that mud back and forth, that hole is going to get pretty deep, Dave.
Yeah, it's you got to keep that. You got to trust in the Lord. I was in Psalm 39 today, a Psalm of David that talked about the same thing. Keep your anger, trust in the Lord. We're not to throw, shots at anybody else. All that does is get us more angry and makes distraction. We need to forgive the other person and focus on the Lord. And people always say that to me too. Why don't you come out and name names? And I said, I'm not going to name names unless the Lord tells me to name names. It's his job, not my job.
Amen. So again, pro tip number 1, okay, don't let the emotions get in the way of the motions you need to take. Step number 2, Romans 12:2 says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. Let me try that again. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, and that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. So let me give you an example. If you go up here to thrivetimeshow.com, Dave, I see it all the time. I'm going to pull up the website right now. People tell me, they say, Clay, I almost didn't come to the conference because I had this going on and that going on. And I almost didn't go to thrivetimeshow.com. I almost didn't buy tickets for your upcoming event. December 4th and 5th, we've got Eric Trump joining us, Julie Green, Mel Kay, Pastor Phil Hotzenpiller. And Dave, people tell me, they say, I almost missed out on my breakthrough because I was letting my breakdown get in the way. But if you go to thrivetimeshow.com and you click on testimonials, there are thousands of testimonials of real people out there just like you, folks, if you're watching this right now, and they went there despite what they were going through, and they were looking for that breakthrough. They were looking for that proven plan, that system on how to start and grow a successful company, and they did it. So again, before we head to the break, I encourage everybody, find a way, regardless of what's going on in your life, find a way to get to thrivetimeshow.com, and specifically to the Anaheim Business Conference, December 4th and 5th. Eric Trump, Julie Green, Pastor Dave Scarlett, Team America, right there. That's thrivetimeshow.com. We'll be back after the break.
Parasites are real. I can prove parasites are real. I know they're out in the world today. That's why I recommend Purge Advanced Parasite Cleanse.
Purge, crafted with an all-natural blend of 19 powerful ingredients, designed to target and eliminate every type of parasite inside the human body. Join thousands of users who've already transformed their health. Order now at www.purgestore.com/hisglory and use code HISGLORY for 10% off discount.
Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend. If you're one of the millions of dog owners, you're likely aware that maintaining a healthy dog can be complicated. According to Dr. Marty Goldstein, there is one potentially dangerous substance that you should stop feeding your dog immediately. If your dog has been feeling tired or not having the energy it used to, this one compound could be the reason. Many dog manufacturers have this substance in their dog foods. After years of research, Dr. Marty has decided to release an information video to the public, free and uninterrupted, showcasing exactly which foods you should stop feeding your dog, which you can find out right now by going to hisglorypet.com or clicking the link in the description box below. That's hisglorypet.com. Just by making this one simple change, he was able to support a dog's overall health. Go find that video now at hisglorypet.com or click on the link below this video to find out right now. You won't believe how simple it is.
I have to tell you, just personally, I've been looking for a clean makeup company, not just skincare, but makeup also, and several other products for a long time. Just Organics has a complete line of natural, organic, non-toxic personal care, health and beauty products, and they're all made in the USA. Please go to our website, hisglory.me, and you can go to our products, our partners, our products. It'll be under Just Organics, and I think you're going to love it too.
The His Glory Ranch Fall Festival is almost here. Join Pastor Dave Scarlett, Julie Green, Dr. Manny Johnson, Nathan French, Donna Rigney, and more for a powerful day of worship and teaching and ministry. General admission to ensure heightened security measures for all attendees. General admission requires a minimum donation of $1 to capture and validate all registrations. VIP tickets include private lunch, photo opportunities, priority seating, and exclusive chance to connect more personally with the speakers during this powerful day. Reserve your tickets today at hisgloryranch.com. Don't wait. VIP seats are limited and will go fast. Billion Soul donation. Become a Billion Soul partner. By giving $30 or more monthly and support our mission to reach 1 billion souls for Christ. And a thank you, you'll get receive a copy of my book, All for His Glory, and also enter to a chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime trip to either the Footprints of Paul, which is our trip to Greece next year, or our trip back to Israel. So we're going to be having 2 big trips next year back, taking a group back to Israel, and the first time ever, the Apostle Paul footprints in Greece. It's going to be a magnificent trip. All right, we're back to Kingdom Business Builders with Clay Clark. Clay.
Okay, so I want to make sure we're getting this idea because, again, we're all living through kind of the modern Jonah moment, that Nehemiah moment, that David moment where, God's telling David, you got to take down Goliath. And David had to be thinking, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, could he do it? Could she? I mean, come on. I'm a small guy. Come on now. Come on. So again, Jonah was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go rebuke these people and give them your word. I don't want to tell them about following God. I want to just go on this boat and go away. But God's calling us right now. And if we run from his calling, that's not a good look. All right. So people ask me, why did I do the Reawaken tour? I believe I was being called by God to do so. I sincerely wish that someone else would have been called by God to do that, but here we go. What are we talking about? There's 5 steps today to get emotion out of your way and to focus on the motions you need to take. Get the emotions out of the way and focus on the motions you need to take. So number 1 is you got to get the emotion out of the way. Step number 2, every single day we need to renew our minds. The Bible says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, and by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. Someone says, well, how do I make that actionable? Every day, block out time for a 1-hour conversation with yourself. Someone says an hour? That's what I do. And I can tell you, folks, every day I go to bed at 9. My alarm goes off at 3. When it goes off, I'm thinking, oh, no, who set this alarm? But once I get up, Dave, and I begin to organize my day and kind of pray my way through it, I get to a pretty good level of clarity about what I need to do today by around 6 a.m. And someone says, well, give me some specifics. I write down my goals for my faith, my family, my finances, my fitness, my friendship, my fun, and whatever gets scheduled gets done. And I have a natural bias to want to focus on finances. I like those kind of things. I like growing companies. I have a bias on wanting to maintain friendships and relationships, so I put that on my list. We all have an area of our life that we have a bias towards, but we need to schedule time for our faith, our family, our finance, our fitness, our friendship, our fun. Nobody out there is perfect, myself included. Move number 3 is that Jim Rohn, best-selling author who you love and I love too, Jim Rohn says, our emotions need to be as educated as our intellect. It is important to know how to feel, how to respond, and how to let life in so that it can touch you. What is Jim Rohn saying? Your emotions, you're going to understand, like in my life, every single day, and I mean this, and this is a very sincere statement, every day in my life, I will have an employee on my team in one of my companies that will make a horrible life choice. So in the past 5 days, I'll fire off 3 examples, being kind of vague here. 1, almost killed themselves by doing something stupid. I mean, literally almost killed themselves. And now, the injury and the regret and wow, just poor decision 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, how do you deal with it? Another employee on my team. We have rules, Dave, in our handbook. If you work for me, you can't date your coworker. You can't, there's not a day that goes by I'm not having to police that or enforce that or deal with those kinds of boundaries being crossed. And third, because I have some businesses that do take in cash, we do have some employees that like to take that cash. And there's never a day that goes by, never, not a day, not a single, think about the profundity of that statement. There's not a single day with hundreds of employees that I'm not needing to enforce those things. And so it could make you bitter. It could make you angry. It could make you toxic. It could make you cantankerous, all those words. But what we have to do is every day renew our minds and educate our emotions that, look, emotions, you're not going to lead my day. I'm going to do what God has called me to do today, and the emotions need to get out of the way, because the emotions can be often held hostage by this little false thing called Satan, right? Satan, the author of confusion, the Satan who appears to be the great accuser, Satan who appears sometimes to be powerful, but our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is more powerful. But Satan has a way of getting into your emotions and making you say and think and feel and do things that you'll regret soon. So I just encourage everybody out there today, block out time to renew the mind. Next here, okay, this is big. Jim Rohn says, measure your emotions. You don't need an atomic explosion for a minor point. Measure your emotions. You don't need an atomic explosion for a minor point. What am I saying? So let's go up to thrivetimeshow.com. Dave, there's somebody out there who you want to come to a conference and you're going, man, I missed that event in Tulsa. I want to come to this event in California. And it might bother you, Dave, if you're watching this, that it's not in Texas, or that it's not close to home, or it's not in Florida, or it's not where you're going to California. But Dave, if we're not careful, we could let those emotions keep us from taking the action steps that we need to take. And I don't know how to explain this, Dave, and you've read a lot of the same books that I have. But Dave, I find that a lot of people, they resist their breakthrough moment because they're focused on the breakdown they just had, right? It's like they're focused on, wow, my business partner took advantage of me, so therefore I'm not going to go to that conference. Man, my sales are down, so I'm not going to go to the conference, which would be kind of like saying, because I'm physically sick, I'm not going to take this treatment that can help me. It's sort of a weird, Dave, it's a doom loop. How would you describe somebody that's too busy self-imploding to have some self-help? I'm sure you've seen it in corporate America. How do you describe that phenomenon?
Yeah, I believe that's a Jim Rohn saying too. They're majoring in the minor instead of majoring in the major. Focus on the major things and take massive action, and don't let the negative get to you. That's what separates the wheat from the tare.
And I mean this, and so I'm not just saying this because I'm on your show. I mean this. When I met you, I really, really needed to meet you. Like I hadn't met a lot of yous. I'll never meet another you again. But I met you. And I remember I met you because Aaron Antis told me about you. And so I'm watching your show and I meet you. And you said to me, Clay, I had a near-death experience where you actually died. And then God revealed himself to you, brought you back. And now you're on this path to share the gospel for his glory. And I thought, that's either the most sincere, bogus story of all time, or this guy it's a real thing. And you met me, I met you. We meet Julie Green. I'm going, man, Julie Green, what a great woman. Met Dr. Zelenko. What a great guy. I met Dr. Rashid Buttar, Jim Brewer, Eric Trump. So many great people. And every time I met these people, because when you're around people for 4 consecutive years or 5 consecutive years or every month for 5 years, they start to say stuff like, man, and these some of the biggest names in the world. They say, I was really close to giving up, and then I met you, and you were like that spark that I needed to keep going. And so if you're watching this show, I think that you might be the spark that somebody needs to keep going, or maybe you need a spark to keep going. And Jim Rohn says that you'll become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I don't have some incredible, device where I could physically relocate all the positive people together to encourage each other. And let's sprinkle in one negative guy with the positive and let's see what happens. I don't have the ability to do that. But what I can do is I can fill the room with Eric Trump and Julie Green and yourself, Dave, and Amanda Grace will be there, and Mel Kay, and so many great business leaders, the Flyover Conservatives, and Dr. Stella Emanuel. And I can get them there. And I can teach you specifically how to start and grow a company. And in that room, as you're learning search engine optimization, and you're learning social media marketing and accounting and branding and workflow design and sales scripts and all the things needed to grow a company, what I find is you end up finding the answers to the linear steps of growing a company, but you find some of the best friends. And I think about people like Jackson Lane, General Flynn's former assistant. He met his wife at the Reawaken tour. He met her backstage in Tampa, I think. Yeah. And I think at the time she was working for Alan Keyes and he was working for General Flynn, and they met each other at the Reawaken America event. I know of at least a dozen couples that met each other at the Reawaken events. I know business owners that have become hugely successful partners by coming to an in-person workshop and meeting people. So again, call to action for everybody watching this right now. If you can find a way to get there, it's December 4th and 5th in Anaheim, California. The weather's going to be incredible, by the way. The weather's going to be incredible. Anaheim, California, December 4th and 5th. And you say, well, how much does it cost? It's $250 or whatever price that you can pay. You say, well, how do I get tickets? You go to thrivetimeshow.com. You say, well, what's the format? We do 30 minutes of teaching and then 15 minutes of Q&A, 30 minutes of teaching. Dave, you've seen the format. How would you describe the format for anybody who's not been to a Thrive Time Show two-day interactive workshop?
It's intense but fun and interactive, and it goes so fast. There's nothing like it. It's not boring whatsoever.
And I start off every time we get an opportunity to team up together on this segment on His Glory. I always share a customer testimonial, a real client having real success. And I think about Jake Gibson. His company is roofangel.com. He knew that he would become successful because his uncle, Pastor Brian Gibson, said, if you team up with the Thrive Time Show team and you follow that proven path, I promise you're going to have success. So Jake came to the conference. He said, tell me what to do, coach. I showed him what to do, and this guy has increased his inbound leads by 10-fold in 5 short weeks. So if you're watching today's show, what do? Go to thrivetimeshow.com. That's thrivetimeshow.com. And Dave, with 10 seconds on the clock, I throw it back to you, my friend.
Well, I think that's a great success story. 2 leads to 20 leads and making more in 1 month than he did in 6 months before, something like that. Everybody needs to take action today.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
4,000% from February to February. Now I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February in the last 2.5 days. So, and the phone's blowing up. Everything's just blowing up. You're right. It is like a rocket ship. So we're pinching ourselves, actually.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
But I recognized at the age of 15, I'm going, you know what? I am not going to live that way. And so I started a company out of my parents' basement called djconnection.com. And I decided I am going to have success. And so I reached out to millionaires and people that I kind of knew through church and friendships and parents of my friends. And I said, what book would you recommend that I read? I'm a 15-year-old asking this question. True story. And I kept being told, you got to read.
Hello, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Radio Show. It's an exciting time. Also, I think a treacherous time, a spooky time also. But it's always, danger is a good time. Today, my guest is Clay Clark, and I went out with Tom Wheelwright to visit Clay with Eric Trump also. And the reason I want to talk to Clay this morning is a very important subject called study. And the reason I say that is things are changing so fast, and many people are completely missing the show. Things are changing at rapid speed. Technology is changing. And so I went to Tulsa, again, with Tom Wheelwright and Eric Trump. And the thing I was so impressed about Clay is this word called study. I don't know, you guys must be in your water or something, Clay, but boy, I was so impressed how big you guys are. But what really impressed me was you have this huge congregation. They're all about guys your age. They're on fire. And you start your classes at 5 in the morning. Now, let me talk to you about study here. We show our books here. Now, this is how I study. You know, this is The Creature from Jekyll Island. It's on the Fed. And Clay's doing the same thing. We study. So I go out to Clay's place in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's built this huge compound out there. And you guys start at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's not by Zoom. They drive there. They show up 5 o'clock, bright-haired, bushy-tailed, and all this. And they're on fire. Your group is on fire. So that's what was on Clay, this technology you tell your group. I was so impressed because, like I said, studies became a bad word. I got into fights in my own company because our staff didn't want to study anymore. And I don't know how they cannot do that. So Clay, anyway, welcome to the Rich Dad Radio Show. That's what I want to talk to you about is how do you do it? 5 o'clock in the morning, you have hundreds of people showing up in your huge auditorium on your property to study. Anyway, welcome to the show, Clay. And what turns you on so much? That's what I want to know. Give us a little about your background.
My name is Karime Schofield, and the name of our company is Whistle While You Clean.
I am Sophia Schofield.
We live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we service the tri-state, so Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana.
We were getting a phone call, and we were like, why is someone calling our business line? That's unusual, and we picked it up, and it was a lead.
I mean, it's been incredible, Clay. We've gone from 0 to like 100% growth. Like we're like a full functioning company. It's great. Like we're blown away at how well we're doing. So working with you guys have really taught us a lot about generating leads and pursuing our Dream 100. So we have a list of customers that we want to market to. And so we've been making phone calls, we've been showing up in person. We're trying to get near the businesses that they would visit if they were visiting like a hair salon or something. And then we start calling them and we just start pursuing them. And then the other thing that we do is when we do cleans, we take a lot of video testimonials and we post those to our website so other customers can see. And then we also upload a lot of images of the things that we do. And so we're also asking our clients for Google reviews after we've cleaned their houses. And so it's this constant like cycle of doing those things over and over and over again. I would say if you're on the fence, go to one of Clay's conferences. They are hilarious. They're fun. They're educational. They're so good that even my teenagers like them. And I would say don't let fear hold you back. If you want to start a business, do the obvious thing and hire someone who knows how to run businesses. If I wanted to get in shape, I'd hire a gym person, a personal trainer. This is like the personal training for business. It has been absolutely amazing. I mean, our coach is encouraging. When he first met with us, he said, do we want him to be like a drill sergeant with us? What level of intensity do we want him to give us? And I will say he is incredibly encouraging all the time. And he just hits the same mark with us every single time. It's very repetitive. But I think we both really learn a lot every time we sit down and have a conversation with him over the phone. He keeps pushing us to go further, and he can recognize when we're afraid to do something and he'll give us a little bit of grace, but that next week he's drilling us again, like pushing us to go harder. Our no-brainer offer is we are offering your first clean for $1. And that sounds absolutely insane. It even sounded insane when I was talking over it with our business coach. And I will tell you that has generated some of our hugest clients. I mean, that has been like a game changer because it opened up the door to more clients, more recommendations, more leads. And we were surprised how far that $1 clean got us.
How important has it been for you to work out that scripting, even though you offer $1 for the first clean? How important has it been for you to nail that down?
It's been really important because it kind of it hones in so that you're not just all over the place when you're trying to explain what it is that you do. And a lot of times it's like you're a good person offering a good product and you have integrity and you want to communicate that. But when you go to communicate without a script or without practice, it's just like a mess coming out of your mouth, as opposed to having this, honed in practice where you know what you're going to say, you know how you're going to say it, and you can almost expect better results when you do it that way.
Had you ever been an entrepreneur before starting this particular business?
No, never.
Did you ever think about wanting to own your own business someday? Or what was the first time you thought, maybe I would like to open my own business?
Absolutely. I've probably been dreaming about it for about 10 years.
Okay, and let me go to your daughter here. Had you ever thought about wanting to team up and open your own business, or was that something that you were maybe excited about, or not so much?
Well, for me, my parents would always listen to your podcast and business podcast. And as I started listening to them, I started realizing that I wanted to own a business.
It's www.whistlewhileyouclean.com. Honestly, the hardest thing was getting over the fear. It was the fear of the unknown. There was like a cloud of doubt that, you can't do this, you're going to fail. There was a few sleepless nights there when we did pull the trigger and join your team and start the coaching process. Even my husband put a little bit of pressure on me from time to time because it was just absolutely scary to take that jump and actually start a business.
Whoa.